Today's lesson is discussing a team assignment. Hi, everybody. My name is Roger.
And my name is Helen.
And today we're going to be discussing a team assignment. We've got a conversation between Tony and Beth, and they're working on an assignment, which is something that somebody assigns you to do, like your boss in a company, your manager, or perhaps in school, your teacher gives you an assignment. You have to prepare a presentation or maybe write a paper.
Right, so an assignment is basically work that you have to do as part of your job or as part of being a student. And sometimes your assignments are take-home assignments when you're a student, which means that you have to do that assignment at home or you have to do homework.
Indeed. So we're talking about an assignment for 2 or more people, so that would make it a team assignment. All these people need to work together. But of course, before you can do a team assignment, you need to find somebody to work with. You need to find a teammate, and that's conversation 1. Let's listen.
Discussing a team assignment.
1. Finding a teammate. At the start of a new semester, Tony's teacher assigns a team assignment. So Tony turns to the girl sitting next to him to introduce himself.
Hey, I'm Tony.
I'm Beth. Nice to meet you.
You too. So, about this team assignment, do you have a teammate already?
No, I don't. Want to team up?
Definitely.
Cool. I've got another class starting soon, though, so I have to get going. Do you use Line?
Yeah, just add me on there so we can keep in touch. My user ID is Tony8888.
Got it. I'll add you while I walk to class.
大家好，第一部分我们来介绍名词 teammate， 它的意思是组员、队友。例如 We are lucky to have Jerry as a teammate since he has had lots of experiences. 我们很幸运拥有 Jerry 这个组员，因为他拥有很多经验。又或者说 My teammates and I went out for ice cream after the soccer game to celebrate. 我和我的队友在足球比赛后出去吃冰淇淋庆祝。
So in the first part of today's conversation, titled Finding a Teammate, we have Tony and Beth. At the start of a new semester, Tony's teacher assigns a team assignment. So Tony turns to the girl sitting next to him to introduce himself. So Tony has to find a teammate. A teammate is somebody on the same team as you. If he wants to form a team, he needs to find a teammate. Now, you can also say classmate. That still has the word mate in it, which means that somebody who belongs in the same class as you. But here, Tony is looking for a teammate, so he turns to the girl sitting next to him to introduce himself.
Indeed, that's very convenient. You can be the teammate with somebody who's very close to you in the classroom. They're forming a team, and they're finding a teammate, and Tony introduces himself. Hey, I'm Tony. And Beth says, I'm Beth. Nice to meet you. So, of course, they've introduced themselves to each other, and Tony says, you too, which means it's also nice to meet you as well. And he goes on to say, so about this team assignment, yes, we've got this team assignment, and this is how he begins to ask this question, do you have a teammate already? Okay, so are you a member of a team already? And if you are, then I'll need to ask somebody else.
Right, so Tony didn't want to be too direct. He didn't want to say immediately, do you want to be my teammate? So he asks her instead, do you have a teammate already? And Beth replies, no, I don't. Want to team up? So Beth is the one who suggests to Tony to become her teammate. And she says, do you want to team up? To team up means to work together with someone, to form a team, or to achieve a specific goal. So 2 people might team up to win a prize, to complete an assignment. And Beth here takes the pressure off Tony by suggesting it first to him.
Exactly. So, yeah, they're going to team up here. They're going to be a member of a team. They're going to be both part of this particular team. And Tony says, definitely, I definitely want to team up with you. And Beth says, cool. And then she says, I've got another class starting soon, though. So I have to get going. Do you use line? Okay, so they've determined their team already, but there doesn't seem to be any time for them to discuss the assignment and what they're going to do. She says she's got another class starting soon. She needs to get going. To get going means to leave, to go to another place, to start something. So yeah, she's got to get going. She's got to leave to attend this other class. And of course, nowadays, when people want to get in touch with each other, they use social media or an app on their phone. In this particular case, she wants to know if he uses Line, which of course is very common here in Taiwan.
Yes, and Tony says, yeah, just add me on there so we can keep in touch. My user ID is Tony8888. So when you connect with somebody on some form of social media like Line or WhatsApp, you need their ID in order to find them on that particular app. And when you look for them, you can add them. That's how you connect with somebody on these apps like WhatsApp and Line. So you can add somebody to your Line, add somebody to your WhatsApp, and keep in touch that way.
And of course, as you know, Line is very common here in Asia, but they don't really use it so much in the US and Europe. So if you expect people to use Line there, they're not going to know what that is. What's Line? We've never heard of that. I think WhatsApp is more common in Western countries, so you might need to sign up for that if you want to keep in contact with other Westerners. And yes, indeed, you can tell them your user ID, or you can scan their QR code. That works just as well. And Beth says, got it. I've got your user ID entered into my phone. And she says, I'll add you while I walk to class. So she's going to take out her phone and enter his information, and she's going to add him as a friend, and then they'll be able to communicate about the team assignment. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today. Let's listen now to the second part.
2. Dividing tasks. Tony and Beth meet up to decide on a focus for their project and how to divide the work.
Hey Beth, ready to discuss our science project?
Sure, let's get down to it. The topic is pretty broad, exploring renewable energy sources. Any ideas?
Yeah, how about we focus on the efficiency of solar power in private residences?
Great idea. We could examine factors like costs and environmental benefits, and maybe even interview some homeowners who use solar power.
Sounds good. And how about we divide the tasks to cover more ground?
Okay, what if I conduct some interviews while you gather some data on solar panel efficiency, costs, and so forth?
Sounds like a plan.
第二部分我们看到单字 renewable， 它是形容词，指的是能源可再生的、合约可延期的。例如 renewable resources are considered to be better for the environment. 可再生能源被认为对环境比较好。或是 This gym offers membership that is renewable after 1 year. 该健身房提供可在1年后续订的会员资格。再来，我们看到名词 efficiency， 这个单字的意思是效率或效能或功效。例如 The city is trying to improve the efficiency of its transportation system. 这个城市正在试图提升其运输系统的效率。或是 Increasing operating efficiency is one of the company's top goals. 增加营运效率是该公司首要目标之一。另外，补充这个字的形容词 efficient, E-F-F-I-C-I-E-N-T, efficient. 它是指有效率的，效率高的。例如If the company becomes more efficient, it will probably make more money. 如果公司变得更有效率，可能会赚更多钱。又或者说 Bart is such an efficient worker. Bart 真是位效率很高的员工。下一个，我们看到单字 solar， 它是形容词，指的是太阳的、来自太阳的或使用太阳能的。例如 These solar lights can last for many hours. 这些太阳能灯可以维持数小时。又或者说 This country gets most of its energy from solar power. 这个国家以太阳能作为主要能源。再来，我们看到名词 benefit， 指的是好处或益处。 举例来说 ，There are many benefits to being a member of the club. 成为这个俱乐部的会员有很多好处。再举一个例子 ，There are many health benefits to eating vegetables. 吃蔬菜对健康有很多益处。另外，这个字也可以当作动词使用，它的意思是有益于或对点点点有帮助。例如 Max's health benefited from more exercise and changes to his diet. Max 的健康得益于更多的运动和饮食的改变。又或者说 The rain in moderation benefited the apple trees. 适度的雨水有益于苹果树生长。最后我们看到单字 homeowner， 它是名词，指的是屋主。例如The new tax policy caused protest made by many homeowners. 新的税收政策引起许多屋主的抗议。又或者说 Kelly inherited her mom's legacy and became a homeowner. Kelly 继承了她妈妈的遗产而成为了屋主。
So in the last dialogue, Tony and Beth teamed up to work on the project, on the assignment that was assigned by the teacher, and now they have to divide the tasks. Tony and Beth meet up to decide on a focus for their project and how to divide the work. So the focus of a project is the main thing that you want to concentrate on that project. You can also say the focus of a discussion. What is the focus of the discussion? We've been talking for 20 minutes already, and I still don't know what exactly it is you want to say. What is the focus of your talk? So Tony and Beth need to decide on a focus because if they're going to do a project, then that project has to have a goal. It has to have a main theme that they want to cover, and that would be the focus.
Exactly. It could be a specific topic or a specific subject. And of course, it's probably based on a broader category. In this case, I think it's a science project, and they need to be more specific, so they need to focus on something in order to do the assignment and make a class presentation. Now, Tony says, "Hey, Beth, ready to discuss our science project?" So here, of course, he sees Beth and he asks this question, ready to, or are you ready to discuss our science project? Sometimes you just drop the be verb at the beginning of a question and just go ahead and say ready. Ready to go? And Beth says, sure, let's get down to it. Now, if you get down to something, that means you start doing something that you're supposed to do. If you get down without the to there, it probably means to boogie, to listen to music and start dancing. Hey, let's get down and listen to this song and start dancing. But in this particular case, it means to start doing something.
Right. So when Beth says, let's get down to it, she's showing enthusiasm and readiness to begin the project. And then she says the topic is pretty broad, exploring renewable energy sources. So that's the general topic. But within that topic, you can have many different focuses. What kind of renewable energy do you want to concentrate on? What aspect, what questions do you want to talk about? So here, of course, they're focusing on renewable energy sources. A renewable energy source is an energy source that can be used again. It can be replaced by itself without any type of intervention. It can be renewed naturally. So wind power and water are two examples of renewable energy sources.
Right. And of course, this is a broad topic, and people are probably going to be talking about some of the more common types of renewable energy, wind power, solar power, etc. But there are other kinds, like geothermal energy, for example. They're all renewable energy sources. And Beth asks him, any ideas? Do you have any ideas about a specific topic that we can focus on? And Tony says, yeah, how about we focus on the efficiency of solar power in private residences? So, of course, we all know there are wind turbines all over the place here in Taiwan. Wind turbines are a common sight along the coasts, especially the west coast in Hsinchu and places like that. You see those wind turbines all the time. But he's talking about the efficiency of solar power in private homes or private residences. So indeed, some people install solar panels on the roof of their homes, and he thinks they should focus on that.
Right, and he wants to focus on the efficiency of solar power. So efficiency refers refers to the ability to function well and to produce good results using available resources. So, in other words, he wants to examine the effectiveness of solar resources, solar power. That's another way to say efficiency. You can also say some businesses have adopted AI to improve efficiency and customer service. So Tony wants to look at the efficiency of solar power. Solar power, of course, refers to power that is generated from the sun, from heat from the sun.
Right. Solar has anything to do with the sun, like a solar eclipse, for example. I think there was one in Taiwan a couple of years ago. There was a solar eclipse. In this particular case, they were talking about solar power in private homes or private residences. Now, Beth says, great idea. That's a wonderful idea. It's a good topic. It's a good thing to focus on. We could examine factors like costs and environmental benefits and maybe even interview some homeowners who use solar power. So she's making some suggestions here. She likes Tony's suggestion for the topic, solar power in private residences. And she says, well, let's take a look at some factors like costs, like how much does it cost to buy and install a solar panel on the top of your house. And also she wants to talk about environmental benefits. How is it going to benefit the environment if we use solar power instead of power which comes from petroleum?
Right. So the word benefit can be a verb or a noun. Here it's being used as a noun, and it means the pluses to something. What are the good points of a particular thing? You can also say advantages as a meaning for benefit. What are the benefits of exercise? Well, you can get healthier and you can avoid disease. So there are also a lot of environmental benefits that can be had when you use solar panels. And Beth and Tony want to examine what factors contribute to the environmental benefits of using solar panels and also the costs of using solar panels.
Indeed. So they're talking about the benefits of solar power in private residences. They could also be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of using those solar power sources. As I understand, the manufacture of solar panels requires a lot of resources, so that could be a disadvantage. But here they're talking about the environmental benefits. And something extra would be to interview some homeowners who use solar power. So indeed, for this presentation or for this assignment, they could just go to the library or go online and get some information and make their presentation that way. But to make it a little more special, to make it a little more personal, they could actually talk to some real homeowners, people who own homes, and they could talk to those people if they use solar power and get their opinions on it.
And Tony says, sounds good. And how about we divide the tasks to cover more ground? Since they're working as a team and they're teammates, they can't expect just one person to do all the work. They need to divide the tasks so that the work can be done more quickly and so that they don't do the same thing over again 2 times. And that way they would waste time. So this way they can cover more ground, which means they can do more. They can do more tasks at a shorter amount of time.
Exactly. And that's what teamwork is all about. You divide up the tasks to be more efficient that way. And that, of course, is Tony's suggestion. And that way they could cover more ground. They could get more stuff done. They could be more efficient that way. Beth likes that idea. She says, okay. And she's going to make a suggestion here. What if I conduct some interviews while you gather some data on solar panel efficiency, costs, and so forth? So that's how she suggests they divide up the tasks here. She's going to conduct some interviews. If you conduct something, you basically do something, you do all the steps or perform all the steps necessary to achieve something. And we use conduct in a lot of ways. You could talk about how you conduct yourself in school, if you're well behaved or not, or if you're naughty. You could conduct an orchestra if you are a conductor. You could be the guy that waves that baton around. You can conduct an orchestra. But here she's going to conduct some interviews. She's going to talk to some people and get some information from them, probably tape record their answers and transcribe it later.
Right. So you can also conduct business. Just to give one more example, you can conduct a survey as well. So Beth is going to conduct some interviews while Tony does all of the paperwork. He's going to do research on the cost and efficiency of solar panels. So a solar panel, of course, is a piece of equipment that uses energy from the sun to create power. And often you'll see solar panels on top of buildings or on the roofs of houses. And those solar panels are there to absorb heat from the sun, energy from the sun, in order to produce heat or hot water in the house.
Solar panel, of course, is that large board-like substance or board-like structure that actually absorbs energy from the sun and converts it into electricity. Tony says, sounds like a plan. So they're agreed on that, and we'll be back next time to continue with their assignment. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第二部分的对话是关于分配工作。 Beth 最后有提议说， What if I conduct some interviews while you gather some data on solar panel efficiency, costs, and so forth? 如果我进行访问，同时你搜集太阳能板的效率、费用等等资料，怎么样呢？那么这边要介绍的是 what if 的用法。 What if 和 what would happen if 意思相同。那我们用句型 what if 主词加动词是表达要是点点点会怎么样。那么 what if 后面接的子句呢，可以用直说法表达，也就是时态会照正常变化。那么 what if 后面接的子句也可以用假设法来表达说跟事实相反的情况。好，那我们就来看两个例句。 What if it rains? 要是下雨怎么办呢？好，那这边我们看到 what if 后面的子句是 it rains， 它是直说法，这个时态是有照正常变化的。第二个例句是 What if you won the lottery? What would you do with the money? 要是你中乐透会怎么样呢？你会怎么样运用那笔钱呢？好，这件事情没有发生。那我们看到子句 You won the lottery， 这边却是用过去式动词 won， 那这就是用假设法来表达与事实相反的情况咯。好，那我们接着要介绍的是动词 conduct 的字首字根。当我们看到 duc 或是 duce 或是 duct 这一类字根，表示引导、带领或是牵引。带有这些字根的单字多半含有经过引导而产生某种结果的语义。好，那我们看到在 conduct 这个字当中，它的字首 con 是指 with together 表示一起， duct 表示 lead带领。那么将人事物带领或整合在一起，也许就可以联想到 conduct 它有指挥引导，或者是有进行、实施等等的意思。好，我们也来补充几个有这一类字根的单字哦。第一个是 educate， 它的字首 e 是来自 ex 表示向外， duc 表示引导带领，那么 ate 是动词字尾。当我们把某人引导向前，从他原本思想框架中把他引领出来，这样应该可以联想到 educate 它有教育、教养的意思。第二个补充的是 induce， 它的字首 in 表示在点点点之中， duce 表示引导，那么合在一起 induce 它就有引起、导致、诱使的语义。好，第三个补充的是 deduce， 它的字首 de 有向下完全的意思， duce 表示引出。那当我们把某事物把它抽丝剥茧，向下一层一层剥开，逐步分析探究到底，这样去联想说 deduce 它有那种推论、推断、推想的意思咯。好，以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Assignment. May is working on a homework assignment that's due tomorrow. Efficiency. By applying new technology, the factory improved its efficiency. Solar. Our home electricity bills have been much lower since we put solar panels on the roof. Benefit. Cooking your own meals can have the benefit of saving money compared to eating out. Conduct. We conducted several experiments to test our theory.
Well, everyone, today's article has come to an end, and I sure hope you enjoy reading along with us. I am Helen.
I am Roger.
See you next time.